I will start the commentary. We're going to be in for a long one, by the way. So yeah. And the stream should be all live and set to go. Very good evening, everyone. My name is Simon, and I will be bringing you guys along for PSGL PlayStation F2. This is not the normal voice you're hearing, because normally you would expect Evan Delton to open up the commentary and to talk you guys through it all. Evan unfortunately has some exams to do, so yeah, just if you guys can wish him some support, that would be amazing. But today I am not alone in the commentary booth, luckily not, longest track of the season. I am followed here today by Flynn.
Hello, how are we all doing? Hello.
And yeah, it should be a very good race. Obviously, last time round we were driving around Monza, where we had an amazing race. And Flynn, I will get you in the session as well. That may be nice.
No worries.
I fully forgot about that. I expected someone to get you in. That is. Let me just add you to the group. This is big PSGL commentary, boys. This is. No, but today we are racing around Singapore, obviously known for its many corners. The Singapore Sling has not been here for a while, and we have had just recently a new set of corners added in. Of course, you go straight on here and you don't go under the tunnel, etc., making the final sector a lot more smooth and flowing, and it certainly will make for a lot quicker lap times. We will be going aboard with Max for the first hot lap because he will be doing the first run around Singapore. Obviously, the Marina Bay circuit having such a technical flow of things, and it is a track where you can really see some drivers perform really well. You can see drivers here who normally are not as quick perform at a circuit like this, because just those many corners, you need to exactly know how to drive it. You want to risk it, and you have seen drivers like Matthew Bassett on the PC side of things come from absolutely nowhere and set nearly the world record here. But Max currently focusing on the PlayStation side of things. Of course, Max being in that first sector, putting down a 26.636. So we got to remind that first sector split, because that will be the benchmark for all other drivers around him to beat. And now we go, of course, into this technical second sector of the circuit. Want to keep as much momentum in there and not hit that inside curb there, but you want to push as much as you can without making a mistake. And especially in this corner, if you go too much on the inside, you will be going off, just like George Russell did straight on there. But those drivers will be cutting the inside as much as possible. And here we have the slowest part of the circuit, this hairpin. You want to do it as wide as possible and not lock the rear ends, because it's very easy to do so. Now coming up towards another section of DRS, maybe seeing some dive bombs up the inside here to surprise. Obviously that will only happen with a big set of tire difference, purple middle sector for Max, and because he is the first person on that lap. And here again, this one new section in the third sector, coming up towards the final three corners now. An easy right and a left hander. That right hander has become so much more tricky, easy to carry, way too much speed in there. And then this final real corner, want to keep much momentum in there, and Max to set this first lap time is a 1:28.90. Flynn, are you in a session?
I am indeed, and looking at all the cars on the track, looks absolutely fantastic, and a lot of drivers on very quick laps, shall we say, from across the line.
Yeah, that is certainly so. I'm trying to see who's next across the line. It should be Noel, but he is only starting his lap time. Flopman, meanwhile, going towards the top. We got a Ferrari coming towards the line. That is Jacob Konias. Let's see what he can do. The Australian, who has very much woken up for this, goes towards second place with a 27.9. We got a Haas coming towards the line. Let's see if that is Daniel. It is indeed Daniel, and he goes up towards a 0.9 as well. So already a very close grid. And on a track like this, being so close towards each other is very special. Phil coming towards the line. He said that he was sick before this, and a 28.4 definitely shows that he might not be feeling so well. Even Vanunamimo coming towards the line, driver recently who joined ETA, has been on absolute fire, been very quick around here, and a 27.8 really shows how quick he can be. Machamiwa coming towards the line, he is someone who we can classify as a qualifying merchant, but he does a 30.4, so that really proves my point on him there wrong. Just waiting for the next person to come across the line. This time it is Knut, but he is our championship leader, invalidating Hurst first lap time means that he will once again be struggling to set a really competitive lap time in quali. Fedek meanwhile coming towards the line, not setting a valid lap time. Zane coming towards the line though, he puts himself up in 8th place with a 28.240. You got Mercedes coming towards the line, that is OP Covers. Covers always being quick and once again showing that, putting himself up there in 5th place. And now it is again a little bit of a waiting game. We still haven't seen of a few drivers, and of course one of those is Mateo, our or our other rival in the championship, because obviously it is starting to become a two-man fight. Knuf versus Mateo, and this is two names that we did not really expect at the start of the season. We were all hearing Covers, Ian, etc., and they really have also performed, but we didn't expect to see these two names so high up there. They have performed and they have done so really nicely in their own separate ways. Knuf being so incredibly consistent and Mateo just showing off his pace. Meanwhile, I don't know if Flynn's here or if I can just not hear him.
No, I am here. I'm just chilling in the background.
Oh, well, the end of the first runs are coming in now, and everyone's looking to just close those things off. Skyline, though, he is the person who is setting lap times at an alternative moment. Himself being in the McLaren, needs to hope that everyone knows that he is just being on that fast lap journey, passing two cars of lap traffic there. It was an Alfa Romeo and an Aston Martin coming towards the third sector right here and right now, pushing it absolutely to the limits. And Skyline now want to carry as much momentum through that final corner, and it seemed like a pretty neat lap. Of course, we showed the second middle sector being purple, but that is just the game being absolutely incredible, and it's only P14 for TF10 Skyline, and it seems like now there's truly an end to the first set of runs for everybody. No one who seems to be pushing as of so far, and then it's again just a waiting game to see who will start the second run at the first moment. And it currently is Dirk, the man who has been out on track as first time very often. Dick likes an empty track, likes to be the first, and likes to set the benchmark for everyone else, which should somewhat have a psychological advantage.
I would say so. I mean, I was riding on board of the Alfa Romeos and the Aston Martins and the Alfa Tauris, and they seem to be struggling a little bit getting lap times in, so hopefully they can get a decent benchmark for them in later on qualifying. But no, some drivers looking very quick right now, and speaking of devil, some drivers now coming out on the track for their second attempt for lap time.
Exactly, and was already starting his second attempt for the lap time. It will be TF10 Dirk invalidating his first run, immediately dove into the pit lane to have that clean track, and now in the first sector, trying to optimize as much as possible. You can really do some dirty tactics there. I do even still believe that you can absolutely fully abuse that first set of corners. Of course, that will not be allowed in the PSGL scene, and that is a big wall hit there from Dirk. Obviously will not be quickest, but I do not think or hope for him that gave him any damage. First sector split will be a 26.504, so that was quicker than the first sector split we saw from Max. Now coming up again towards that middle sector, and all of those corners up there. Drew Stamford and Padang coming up towards now the section that used to be called the Singapore Sling. Of course, being changed up now a little bit, but as you go through turn 10, 11 and 12, you come up towards that hairpin. Of course, it is still the Marina Bay circuit, and there's water all around you as Day goes very close towards that wall there, already showing off some nice amounts of risks, and it really shows to everyone that he is pushing and that he is looking for a good result again. A 103.5 in the middle sector now, and want to expand that exit as much as possible. It is tricky because you can easily invalidate in that corner around you there. Got a car ahead of him once more coming towards the third sector. Let's see what Dirk's lap time could be here, but it is just amazing to see on that outside camera how close these cars really get to the wall, the confidence that these drivers have, and now coming up towards the line. Let's see what Dirk can do. He puts himself up in 12th place with a 128.418, so he can be so incredibly close towards those walls, but not really set the exact lap time that you're looking for.
Exactly, and obviously drivers are going to be finding their limits as much as they can, which is awesome to see. And I'm quite running on board with Max, who's in the Red Bull, and they're just vibing right now, heading into Sector 2, and they've gone purple in Sector 1. So they've been getting very perilously close to the walls. So let's ride on board and have a look to see how they get on for their second attempt of their quickest lap around Singapore. So as we make our ways to turns number 10, 11 and 12, You want to be obviously as close to the wall as you possibly can, but not too close to not hit it to obviously damage your car or retire from the session, because it wouldn't be ideal. But into the hairpin section now, getting the best exit as you possibly can with DRS enabled all the way down to turns number 14 now, heading in to sector 3, probably the, say, easiest couple of corners on the track, to be honest. And now, to be honest, he's looking fine, he's looking perfect. Hopefully he can keep together and make himself up the grid order. Fingers crossed, but we'll see how he gets on. Currently it's on a 128.1, but let's see if he can improve. Very, very, very close to track limits there on the couple of corner exits, but around the final corner, up to the line, what's it going to be? It's going to be pole position of 127.8. That's mega, and it's very, very close between the top three, shall we say.
Yeah, but there, Flopman absolutely showing the whole competition exactly how to do that. It is a 0.4 and an absolutely amazing lap time from the... I mean, he drives with a Welsh flag in game, but I do certainly believe that he is French. But yeah, now we got another Red Bull coming towards the line. That was Johan, not really setting an improvement. Of course, the Red Bulls having a nice achievement last time out in Monza, which was a crazy race and a lot of things happening behind the scenes in the steward room as well. So let's see if we can talk about that in between the qualifying session and the race. Knut, though, is currently in P11, invalidating his first run. Decided to go again on that same set of tyres, put down a 28.345. Not the ideal lap for Knut, but I guess it will have to do. Covers coming towards the end of his lap time now, not really improving. So Thomas Covers not looking as quick as people expect him to be, but maybe he is just not having a good lap and showing up really later. He does go purple in the final sector and puts himself right behind his teammate. Both Mercedes, of course, being so quick and working well together in this championship, but not as well currently as Haas, because you've got Flopman in 1, Danielle in 2, but as I say that, Ian puts himself up in 2nd place. We got another Alfa Romeo coming towards the line. That is Zane with a big improvement, closing that gap fully, putting himself in 10th and right up there. Only 2 more tenths to improve for him to be really up there with the other guys. Meanwhile, Flopman already heading back in towards that pit lane. And I do believe we got Armateo towards the end of the lap. Your second person in the championship, putting himself up in 2nd place. It's a 127.6. Armateo showing what he's made from and showing that he is fighting for that championship and that he wants his name to be put all over it. But the other championship contender will be NLR Knuf. So let's follow him on board for the second half of his qualifying lap. 2.5 tenths improvement currently coming towards the middle part of the track, and now coming once more towards the end of things, up towards turn number 16 and 17 now. Want to brake as late as possible, well, not too late, because like I said, it's easy to outshoot this here and it's not fully on the throttle. And I do believe that Knuf has yielded off his second run, invalidation on run number 1, and had to set a lap time on old tires. Run number 2 and did decide to yield it there. So Knuf maybe starting to fumble a little bit on the pressure, but we do know that Knuf is qualifying is not his strong side. He is an incredible driver in the race, and I showed that time after time after time. 4.5 minutes to go, and let's slightly recap on what happened last week, because if you watched, you saw the outcome, but things have changed very much, because Knuf at the end got himself a 2nd place. Armateo obviously keeping his 1st place, meaning that there's a 7-point gap between your 2 leaders. Knuf in 1st with 59 points, Armateo in 2nd with 52. Now we got a big gap there of 20 points to the rest of the field. We're chasing behind. It is Zorzo on 32, Ian Van Unen on 31, OP Covers on 28, Diogo Silva on 28, Johan on 25, Danielle on 23. But yeah, fun fact, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember it if you were watching last week, but we did mention the Red Bulls. At one point, they were running P9 and 11, and then a lap later, they were P5 and 7. Well, I'll do you one better, because in the final standings, one Red Bull, Johan, finishing in P3, and the other Red Bull of Max finishing in P5. So they went from P9 and 11 to just a podium and a 5th place over the space of 3 laps. That just shows how absolutely ridiculous the end of the race and those steward outcomes were. It changed up everything, but now we are looking at the future again, and we got Phil, who's already on towards his final lap of qualifying in the McLaren, trying to absolutely swing it through those corners, coming through turn number 30 now, want to get a good exit, and now coming up towards turn number 14, aka Conrad. This track doesn't really have many corner names, of course, as a street circuit. It does not really often have those, but you do know that this little bend there does classify as turn 15. Coming up again, turn 16 and 17. It is all taken very smoothly so far, but bottoms out on that curb there, and that will cost him a lot of time because it runs his whole momentum towards the line there. Phil, first person to set a lap time in the final run. He puts himself only in P17, and he definitely won't be happy with that.
No, 100% will not be happy with that. I was riding on board with him for the full-on lap, and I'll tell you what, his lap time with some corners and exits just wasn't the best, to be honest. He was kind of struggling, and I think he hit the wall at one point, but I can't remember where, but I think it was on the beginning of his lap. But yeah, he just wasn't having the best of days. But yeah, both McLaren struggling right now, 15th and 17th, but I have high hopes for the race. You know, the race, it can go long. There can be many mistakes, and maybe a safety car or two, which can really help him out. But look at that track, especially down in sector 2 and 3. It looks absolutely crazy. Insane.
It certainly does. And the first man that will be starting his lap time, I thought it was an Aston Martin, but that's because those two tracks overlap so closely towards each other. I don't believe it is a Williams, so let's see exactly which one that will be. And it is the Brazilian of Thales who will be starting his first lap time. Let's see what he can do, Thales. He's proven that he can be very quick and always someone that you do need to worry about. But most of the time, unfortunately for him, it doesn't really come out of it. Misses the apex on turn 1, and he needs an amazing rest of the lap to really show off his worth there. A little bit just of a crappy sector 1, but we do all know that things can still happen, and you can find time absolutely everywhere. Just ask that to OP Flopman, because he's currently still in the lead with 2 tenths being clear of everyone else. Thales, though, not really losing out a lot of time towards his own PB, 18,000 of a second, only slower coming up once more in towards this middle section. Phil, meanwhile, retiring from the session. Obviously, his session is fully done at this moment. Coming through now, the Singapore Sling once more. Of course, that corner combination, you saw cars flying up and down, and it actually is still called Singapore Sling. Dirk, meanwhile, picking up that 5th-place grid penalty, which means that we will be having a restart. Illegal blocking, obviously unfortunate that still happens in this game, but not much more can be done about it. Teleso coming up towards the second sector split. Let's see if he is improving by a lot. He is improving, not by a lot, only 40 thousandths of a second seemingly. He's only going to get the position of Zane, but if he can grab one more tenth, it can already give him quite a big jump, because obviously a lot of drivers are having a 0.8 and that is being on a 0.0 right now, means that even a small improvement can give you a lot of position. But he's the first driver to start on those third set of runs coming towards the line now. The flag is officially out. Thales puts himself up in position number 8, and then we got an Alpine next towards the line. That is good, 5.5 tenths improvement. Let's see where he can go. He puts himself up to third, right behind Amateo, and that is exactly what we have been expecting from the German, showing off that he still has that pace and that he definitely is still there. Next up towards the line will be Shazoo Noel, exactly equal to what he was previously in the middle sector. Now coming up again once towards the final sector, but he goes too early on the throttle and he spins. We got Haas up next. That is Daniel, 3 tenths up of an improvement, and he is the person that will be challenging Flopman. The two teammates going to be very close towards each other. It is P2 for Daniel, not matching his the lap of his teammate. Jacob Koning is making a nice improvement as well. Ian Van Ernen coming up towards the line. He has a nice improvement. He goes to first, 127.428, and then we got Amateo up towards the line. Let's see what he can do. He is not improving seemingly. Amateo not going to improve. Knuth and Amateo once more very close towards each other. Zorzo not coming up with an improvement. Covers invalidating as well, who's all more towards the line. It is Ghost King. He is up into the pit lane actually, and then we got a Red Bull still coming up. That is Max, also not improving. So many drivers not improving anymore. We got Macho up towards the line. We know he loves a nice qualifying session, 1.6 seconds up, but he hasn't had a competitive lap time yet, and he only goes in P14. He definitely won't be satisfied with that. Skyline coming up towards the line, overtaking the other Alfa Romeo of Zane this time round. Skyline also not improving. Got a Williams towards the line. That is Diogo Silva, but he also heads in towards the pit lane. And wow, what a qualifying session we have had. And Flopman not setting a final run means that he misses out on that first grid spot. It is second place for him. And Ian Van Unen, the new signing of ET8, showing absolutely why teams should still sign him and why he is and will always be a contender on this grid. It's a 127.428. Ian Van Unen on pole.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
Flopman didn't have a wing.
Oh, did he not? Oh. Oh, I
Flopman
just realised
binned
that
it.
now. Ooh. But no, that qualifying, that's got to be the best qualifying session I've ever seen. That was absolutely fantastic, especially between the top two of how close it is for pole position and a third, not far off as well. But that is insane.
Again, absolutely incredible. And once more, both Haas drivers, this has certainly been a team that has been surprising many of us over the second half of the season. Or, well, the second half of the season really hasn't started, but technically still in the first half, because obviously after this, we will be heading in towards our winter break. With many holidays, Christmas, and the New Year's as well. But don't be afraid, because the PSGL season is far from over still after this. We still have Spain, and then we hand over towards the United States of America once more. This time round, we will be driving at the amazing circuit of Miami. Arguably not the greatest circuit of the United States that we offer. And then we got Britain and Bahrain to end off the season. But this is just an absolutely crucial race. You need to perform here well, especially for the top two, because we need to be looking at Mateo being in 4th place and Knuf being up in 6th. Yeah, because they have that 7-point gap between each other. Knuf obviously being in the lead with 7 points. But if Mateo here has a bad result and Knuf a good one, that championship difference becomes much, much bigger. I'm going to quickly double check in the Discord if they will be doing a restart, but I'm fairly confident that this will be happening.
I'm now having a look in the Discord and I can't see
It said
any
ignore
updates.
my pen. So I do believe that we are going to continue on. So what we
Nice.
were speculating about a restart will not happen. Seemingly, the lobby host deciding that his own penalty was legit and that it did not need to be replaced or removed. So just going to continue from that moment onwards. And then, yeah, the race will be happening a lot sooner. Flynn, obviously, you being new in PSGL F2, you will get the same co-commentary treatment as I have gotten. Since you know this grid so amazingly well, who's going to win?
Well, to be honest, I was running on board with Knuf for his final lap time around Singapore to put it in 6th place, and I must say, I think he could win today. I really think he could have a good shot at winning today's race with his race pace and just positioning with the car. I think he's got a chance.
Well, keep that down, because I haven't got it correct yet this season. So that's always fun to hear. It would be amazing if another co-commentator stepped in for 1 week. Of course, we had another commentary as well. But we got 5 red lights coming on. Ian Van Unen on pole. Flopman in 2nd place, and the red lights are out. And it is a good start from Ian Van Unen maintaining his lead. But we got an amazing start from Danielle in 3rd place behind. Absolutely going clean still. Both Sahasas have slight contact with each other, but they keep each other alive. Ian Van Unen maintained his first position. It is a short run up towards turn 1, and he made absolute good use of it. No instance further behind. It seems like that is going up the inside of covers immediately already, and it's already into single files pretty quickly. Noel trying to pick off one of the Alfa Romeos. That will be Zane trying to go around the outside here. Meanwhile, Flopman is very close behind Ian Van Unen, but not really going for a move. Ian Van Unen riding that curb, but keeping his position, covering the inside there. But Flopman being all over him already, and they have a little bit of a gap already. It is absolutely amazing what we are seeing here. Meanwhile, it's all very close, but still clean in behind. We got Ghost Kings and Macho fighting with each other. It is a 4-man battle there, and we do have some damage. Macho, unfortunately for him, missing a big side of this wing on the right-hand side.
Yes, indeed, and yeah, they are fighting really, really hard. That Ferrari, I'm going to feel sorry for, but down the inside, the Alpine goes a Ghost King to take P18 and get past the Ferrari. I think Ferrari will be back into the pit box after this lap of McLaren, or Phil may try to get past him, but doesn't look like he has. But the Ferrari's trying to come back at the Alpine and doesn't succeed, but through goes to McLaren, because just that damage, the slightest damage here at Singapore, to be honest, you're done. There's no chance in that. But further up the grid, we've also got the Williams fighting with the McLaren for P15. It's all going on. There is literally chaos, content, overtakes happening lap by lap, and corner by corner and straight by straight. It's happening everywhere, which we love to see here at PSGL. And someone has retired, and that is the Ferrari of Macho. Not a good first lap for him, especially retiring on the second lap out of 31 at Singapore.
Yeah, always unfortunate to see someone retire so often, because we can always get a safety car. But at this level, it is unlikely, because these drivers often do not be making that mistake. Looking at the tyres, though, it is a very interesting choice. Everyone's on the
It
hards.
is. Yeah, it's an
Um,
interesting one. I thought someone would be on the medium to take a gamble, but the hard tyres, not a bad shout, but this track is obviously known for high tyre deg, but no, it is interesting. I thought obviously some drivers would take the mediums as a gamble. I really thought that, but maybe I was wrong.
We've seen it before. We certainly have drivers trying to make their way up the field very, very quickly. But this means that the strategic games will all be happening at the pit stop phase. With the longer you stay out, the fresher tires you have in the end. But the earlier you pit, the more of an undercut you will get. And if this train decides to remain here, because obviously from lap 2 onwards, or lap 3 onwards, we will be getting DRS. And all this train will do is become a lot bigger and bigger. But we are currently seeing that Flopman is quite close to Ian van Unen. He seems very confident in himself and his own abilities to really show this field who he really is and where he wants to go up next. And that is obviously PSGL F1, which will be happening in half an hour from now. But for now, you guys have to deal with the F2 side of things. This amazing tier showing the next prospects who will be next up. And even for PC, this is the step-up place. Console side is where everyone has gotten big. All the big names that you currently see, they have either come from Xbox or from PlayStation. Flopman meanwhile though, deploying the ERS, deploying the ERS, going around the outside and trying to make that move happen. Ian van Unen defending, goes a little bit of contact there. It's a slight tap there, but Flopman gets the move done. Ian van Unen, who instigated that contact, has to yield back in towards second place. It is the move that Flopman was looking for. Now the question will be, what will Flopman's plan be? Is he going to try and push, get Ian outside of his comfort zone to try and drive away and win this race? Or is he just going to chill out, wait for a bigger mistake from Ian? But the gap already being up towards 8/10 of a second clearly shows that Flopman really has that pace and he wants to control this race more and more. He doesn't have any cars up front to worry about. Using the ERS again, clearly indicating that he wants to burn, he wants to push and drive away, and he wants to show everyone how it is done. He only has a little bit of time. Kluivert going up the inside of Jacob Konias, your championship leader, making up moves and getting behind the person who is in second place currently. Mateo in P4 and Ela Knuth in P5.
Oh, it's all kicking off. I think Knuth could, I don't know if he's going to play a patient game or take a gamble and try and get past his championship contender, but we'll find out very, very shortly because he's looking quite racy. But like I said about Flopman, he's currently in P1. He's trying to run away and obviously burn that battery, but it looks like he's not been able to, and it looks like Ian's got his head screwed back on and wanting to keep in the toe and keep in the rear wing of the driver up ahead for P1, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. And looking elsewhere, not many moves happening just yet, but obviously it's only lap 4 out of 31 at Singapore, so we aren't going to see crazy moves just yet until the end of the race or before pit stops happen, because obviously pressure tyres on this track is ever so strong, especially on this game.
Especially around Singapore, it is interesting because you need to take some risks really to make a move like that happen. And if you don't take those risks, you will be stuck behind a driver for a very long time. At Monaco, it's just simply impossible to overtake. At Singapore, it is possible. You just need to show how brave you are. Flopman, though, he is really pushing the pace again, 8/10 of a second. But behind it, Daniel is also on 7 to 8/10. Noel already getting up a penalty and then losing a position meanwhile whilst doing so. And he goes round. Oh my days, condition with Skyline. Decides to reset to track, probably getting a penalty over that. And there is damage on track when the full wing being lost by Skyline, seemingly only going to be a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. And it has blinked and not updated to a full safety car. Is anyone going to pit for a set of mediums? Do a double medium? I doubt anyone will.
I mean, it's not a bad gamble to take, actually. It's an early pit stop in the race.
Yeah, but those tyres will not last and you'll lose a lot. I don't think anyone will. Obviously, Skyline's going to go to mediums or retire. Noel also continuing. And yeah, it is a virtual safety car. He was already being deployed, and it's go back out. And it's a good safety car restart from Flopman, already having that second. Did he break the DRS from Ian? Has he already done it?
He has. There's no DRS. There's no rear wing. No, he's broken it. He's gone.
This is absolutely crucial. Flopman having to destroy his entire battery now and push like he hasn't before to just secure this race at this moment. Ian having a little bit more ERS, but needing to cook onward to just try to close that gap towards Flopman. This lap will be crucial because although it is a street circuit and confidence turning and the amount of speed you carry through those corners means everything, the DRS will still help you a lot whilst being in second place. Danielle behind also lost DRS to Ian. It just shows that the two guys up front are on a different level, but Flopman just schooling the entire competition and showing exactly what he is made out of. Meanwhile, Armateo and Knuf chilling in P4 and 5. Armateo wanting to make that move on Danielle as soon as possible. He still has a full battery and is able to burn that off to try to make some overtakes. Knuf as well, very confident in his battery level, showing off that he wants to be making some moves in the near future as well. Danielle getting back in that DRS zone, and Ian Van Unen is so incredibly close to it. There's no more battery from Ian, only on 10%. Flopman on 15 to 18% as well. So really both drivers deployed everything they had to carry themselves out of the DRS. Ian though having DRS on not the ideal straight, the main straight, gaining back around the 10th, and this first sector will be crucial. Will Ian get DRS? Yes or no?
I'd say yes. He looks like he's got to be, unless he's lost it just now, but he's got to have DRS, surely. There's no way, unless the detection zone is somewhere different on the track, but we'll find out, and he hasn't got the DRS, which is quite unfortunate, so obviously Flopman can try and attempt to build that gap again, but luckily and crucially Danielle in P3 has got DRS, so he can now defend from Armadillo behind, and Knuf as well, starting to lose slight touch of the driver up ahead, so we'll see what happens, we'll see what happens. It is looking very spicy, very interesting. I think Flopman could run away here. He's got to push now, though. He's got to go for it.
Exactly, and we are currently having our full focus up on the leaders, but what also is important is to see that gap between P13 and 14. Dirk has a gap of 1.8 seconds towards the cars up ahead, so the DRS train being broken down, which means that Dirk, Diogo Silva, Ghost Kings and Phil are in a good bit of trouble. Noel as well struggling. Jacob Konias has retired from the session. Oh my days, he's gone straight on. I tend to believe that is a wheel issue. It seems like we're all still going green. Obviously, only a local yellow flag, no virtual safety cars or anything else happening. Jacob Konias is out of your race. Both Ferraris with a DNF. And I can only think of that being a wheel issue.
I think it was. I mean, I saw him smack the wall at turn... I can't remember what turn it was now. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think it was turn number... Yeah, he exited 13, went on to 14, and his wheel, it didn't want to turn. He just smacked the wall and went straight on and had to retire because that's the safest option to do. But we're looking at the top two right now for a spicy battle. Ian, in the AlphaTauri, he's in a bit of trouble. He's got no battery. He is flashing completely. I'm just seeing that light flash ever so often. So Flopman has got an easy run away at the moment, and Ian is on humongous pressure from the drivers behind. So Ian, I think he's in big trouble here. He can't catch Flopman.
Yeah, but Flopman doesn't have any battery himself, so this is just old school hard racing. It is just Wu dares to try and push the hardest, and then of course the strategy factor is going to play in as well. If Flopman is able to create enough of a gap that he's able to pit one lap later than Ian, which you'll need like a solid 2 to 3 seconds for, because the undercut on Singapore is just insane. If he's able to drive that gap, he can pit one lap later than Ian, just respond to him, and then have a set a one lap fresher tyres and able to just slowly keep extending that gap. That's all Flopman is thinking of right now, and is the exact strategy how this driver will be needing to play it. But he needs to just focus and not make any silly mistakes, because a silly mistake at Singapore is very easy made. It is still a street circuit and they are very unforgiving, obviously. Singapore being a very good track of Sebastian Vettel, famously known for getting the pole whilst not even being inside of his car. Deciding to only do one lap in Q3 to get that lap fully done. Meanwhile, both Alfa Romeo swapping out. Zane unable to keep up with the pace, giving the stick over towards his teammate of Fede, and they are going to try to get now back inside the DRS range. It just shows how high the pace is, because now everyone below P11 has dropped outside of that DRS range, and Covers is also barely hanging on, 9/10 only of a second, so he needs to push on. So this shows how quick Flopman really is driving. That's all I can say. It's just so impressive.
It is indeed in Skyline. The fastest lap time of 1:31.8. Currently, obviously, in last place. PAT after having contact with the driver or just losing his wing and damaging it, and he's all the way at the back of the grid. Bit of a gap to build. So I think Skyline, I think he's hoping for I'd say a safety car at some rate. But the way the drivers are racing, hard, clean, fantastic stuff, I don't think there will be a safety car. I mean, we've had a virtual safety car, but that's about it. But, you know, I think so far, I'm not gambling there'll be any safety cars.
We've had a very rare virtual safety car. It's not something that we do be getting very often, and because Jacob Coney has crashed into the runoff area, we did not get a safety car there as well. So on that front, safety car wise, we have been pretty lucky, because many more safety cars and our voices would truly be away. Because once again, a reminder that Singapore is the longest track on the session, but it is a mistake there from Ian Van Unen. The gap is 2.1 seconds, and Danielle is all over him, and this is the opportunity that Danielle has to take over that second place, and it will be an important one. Let's go on board with Daniel, see what he can do. A little bit of the overtake being deployed then. He certainly will be having DRS. This corner will be crucial. It seems to be a little bit of a better exit from Daniel, and already flashing there. On the ERS goes Daniel. Ian Van Unen gonna defend the inside, but not well enough, because Daniel goes up the inside. Seemingly a very easy move, and breaks a little bit later, and both Hasses are now in 1 and 2. Flopman leads, Daniel in second place, and now you got Armateo, who sees a flashing Ian Van Unen right in front of him, and he knows that is my next target. I need to get past you as soon as possible, and he's chilling on a full battery. So even when both drivers will be having DRS, Armateo should be able to make that move stick and happen. And Danielle, the question is, how much team game are you going to play now? Are you going to just slowly drop back a little bit and to really secure your own driver, your own teammate, that he does have this win secured? Ian Van Unen, a little bit of a relock there, and the overtake going on for a short moment of time from Armateo, just being so incredibly close behind Ian Van Unen, really looking to try and make that move as soon as possible. I don't exactly know what happened with Ian, just trying to quickly check and scan for damage. Certainly does not have that. And there goes Armateo on the inside in towards turn number 16, and makes that move happen there as well. So Ian Van Unen really starting to struggle, and now he's going to fall into the hands of NLR Knuf. A little bit of a mistake there from Armateo, not giving the greatest of exits towards Ian Van Unen. Knuf now on the overtake. He's going to go for it up the inside in turn 1. Ian Van Unen going to defend a slight bit, but he can't do all that much. Up the inside goes Knuf, still side by side into towards turn 1 and 2. Slight bit of contact there. Ian Van Unen has to extend the track to really make it happen. Still side by side. It is pretty clean racing with Ian Van Unen now having to yield, and then goes around the outside goes Johan. Everyone trying to profit from Ian Van Unen, just slowly struggling a little bit, getting pushed a little bit wide there. Johan and Ian Van Unen, and Johan makes it spot happen as well, and there comes Max on the geese. Ian Van Unen is just going to lose everything he has been building upon. From P2 all the way down, his contact there. Both Red Bulls involved in Ian Van Unen, and that is absolutely terrible for the Red Bulls. Ian Van Unen, Max van der Geest, and Johan, 3 wide at Singapore, doesn't go, and they've just showed exactly why. And there's damage from Max van der Geest. So both Red Bulls, their race fully done. Although we did say that at Monza, and it's fully turned around.
Oh my goodness, I just saw that on the back of Knuf's car coming into that couple of corners. Yeah, you don't go 3 wide there, because I think what happened is the Red Bull tried going for a move, the other Red Bull went on the outside and then smack round, and there goes the Mercedes as well. Oh, but no, that was, yeah, like you said, you just don't go 3 wide there, but, you know, you take the punishment, you learn from it, but that does hurt Red Bull a little bit if they're in their constructors fight with some of the teams, but they're going to lose valuable points there, especially at Singapore. But yeah, that is just not ideal. But that was crazy. Lovely to watch, but it was also crazy. I thought your voice was literally going to die, but somehow, I'm guessing it's still okay.
I mean, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's certainly not, because the excitement level was high, and that happened. I mean, it is incredible, and it's changed the game up fully. I mean, your 2 championship leaders, Armateo and Knuf, they are still behind each other, P3 and P4. Like, the lead is still there, but Ian Van Unen has a 1.4 second gap. Zorzo has a 3 second gap. So talking about the DRS train being mostly intact, it is now fully broken up, and those cars behind Zorzo, Thales, and Kovas surely will be needing to work together a slight bit to make that gap close up again. Thales now taking up the lead, and is also pretty much letting Thales by, so clearly indicating that he wants to work together, build the gap back up. Small mistake there from Thales, keeps his car fully still under control, but that was an absolutely... I haven't seen an incident like that before. I didn't really get a good view of it. I don't really know what would have happened there, but 3 wide in Singapore, in my eyes, the only thing I can currently think of it is a racing incident but I haven't seen it properly, so I'm not going to speculate any upcoming penalties that we were able to do last time round with Will Murdoch, of course, the Olympian, missing this time round. Max van der Giesmeel making an overtake on Skyline. Good to see him still continuing to drive, and no DNS, fortunately, for all of us. Noel, meanwhile, also having made that pit stop. Let's see how all his tires were 2 laps ago already happening. I don't know what happened there with my voice. It sounded really different there. But Max, though, on fresh set of mediums, going to try to run this all the way towards the end. Noel nearly ran it into the wall, though.
Yeah, that was quite close for Max there, but I think right now he'll be quite frustrated because, you know, Max has been involved in an incident which he didn't want to be involved in, but, you know, he's just got hope for a safety car, and we've got Zane. That's very early for the Alfa Romeo to box on off the hard tyres, wouldn't you say?
It certainly was, but he does have some wing damage, and he was already struggling, Zane. So I was about to say, really early call for a set of mediums, but this does explain that, you know, you have Mitri and the OP manager in the chat saying, nice one. So I'm sure that he isn't all that satisfied about both his drivers being involved in that incident. Johan, meanwhile, then also picking up a penalty. So just to damage everything that happens even more, he picks up that penalty, and it's just not looking good for him. Trying to see if he has any sort of damage and is trying to extend it towards the pit stop. My nose is starting to play up, so that's amazing with commentary. But yeah.
I mean, riding on board of the Red Bull of Johan, I can't see him struggling. I don't think he got damaged. I think he actually got lucky and got away with it. I think he's just a bit shook up, shall we say, from what's just happened. So he's, you know, he might be in offline mode at the moment and not like fully focused on what's going on. But hopefully he can get his head screwed back on and crack on and get back into the points. But what's also quite scary as well, I was looking at P6, catching up to Ian, who's in P5. It's just really daunting to look on board of the AlphaTauri and look at the back of the camera and just see that Williams just looking in the background. Absolutely scary, but that Williams is pushing. And I think Ian is starting to really struggle, obviously with no battery on the car. And I'll just say as well with tyre wear. He's just really struggling now. He's falling backwards instead of going forwards, which isn't ideal.
Yeah, he is dropping back more and more. Ian obviously not being all that happy, fighting for second place, and then being losing a lot of positions and being involved in an incident like that. In his mind, he's probably not all too happy with himself, of course, coming all the way down from pole position like that. Very promising qualifying, but was unable to really show it in the race film. We were going up the inside of Johan, a little bit of argy-bargy there, slight bit of contact, but Phil making that move stick up the inside and making it happen. And I think Johan is going to have like 3 to 4% damage, and even though you won't feel it, he certainly is understeering and sliding a whole lot more. I mean, I'm just going to go on board with him again, but the car's not feeling pretty, like struggling a little bit. There certainly was contact somewhere, but maybe not visual contact or damage from us. But even though this damage model works in percentages, it will never be ideal. Let's focus again on the front, because all that happens, Flopman obviously still being in the lead, would be weird if that changed, but the gap only being 2.5, 2.6, now actually 2.7 seconds, the gap hasn't changed all that much, meaning that Daniel is just trying to match the pace that Flopman is currently doing.
I think the Aston Martin's going to go for it. The Aston Martin looks pretty close here.
Yeah, it's
I don't know, I get that feeling he's going to go for the lunge. I don't know if it's a desperate lunge, because Knuth is getting quite close as well. I've just been looking on board of the Aston Martin. I think he's pushing hard now. Might even go to the pit lane soon to change his tyres, but I guess we'll find out on this straight if he's going to go for it. He's gaining. He is draining the battery, but not draining. He's turned it off now. Actually, no, he is going to go for the move. Actually, shall we say, down into turns number 7, 8 and 9, and gets the move done nice and early, and that moves him up into P2 and promotes Daniel down to P3. Now can Knuth get through to stay with the Aston Martin? Or is the Aston Martin going to get overtaken again and swallowed up by the Haas? We'll find out very, very shortly. But that was a lovely move.
having a little bit of a human barrier there. Amateo just creating that gap between himself and your championship leader, Knuf. But the pit stops will be happening soon because we have seen the first two drivers heading towards the pit lane already. It is OP Covers and it was Dirk as well. So these two drivers starting to take the gamble very early on. The undercut being very good, and you want to just they're gonna try to undercut themselves in towards the train that's up ahead. And Johan there, he definitely doesn't have a wing now. And let's hope for the drivers that just pitted that this won't become a virtual safety car. There is a wing out on track, but Johan not having a wing at all. It goes from bad towards worse. And Bas Bremer currently in chat saying the charge is starting right now, lads. Meanwhile, Daniel getting overtaken by Knuf, but it is because Daniel is heading in towards the pit lane. So the title charge that Bas is talking about, obviously Bas being from ET8 where Amateo drives as well. Talking about Amateo just absolutely storming up the field. He's been saying it every single time, and every time Bas is saying it, Amateo has been showing off some very promising stuff. Meanwhile, we got BR7AN saying this is the only time we're seeing a Haas in first. Yeah, it doesn't happen often. We saw a Haas IRL qualify up in first, obviously K-Mac doing so in Brazil. But I'm sure if you tune in towards our other tiers that you do often are able to see a Haas in first place, obviously cars being all equal towards each other. But Daniel coming out just ahead of Max, which is something that has been very important for him. One more lap and they would have dropped behind, which will be interesting to see because Amateo and Knut will probably have to get past two more cars then, because Max, it's not like he's slow, he's just driving a consistent pace, and they will probably jump in towards a gap of Max and Covers. How much of a gap that will still be is going to be questionable because Covers is gaining. It just shows how much that undercut really helps you because Covers, where was he? He was in P8 and he's now pretty much already in the train of the guy that was in P2 just a few laps ago. So it's all going quicker and quicker. Let's go on with Flopman, see if he heads into the pit. He does. So he is reacting. He wants to be on the same tyre life as everyone else. And Knuf continues. He decides to take the gamble. He wants to fresher tyres towards the end of the race. Flopman and Amateo are in. Ian Van Uden goes in as well. Talis staying out. Who else is staying out? We got Zorzo who's staying out. Fede who's staying out. So one Alfa Romeo going early. One Alfa Romeo going a little bit later. We've seen both Alfa Romeos do interesting stuff. Strategy was many times before, but Fede picking up a small warning there in towards turn number 1. But Knuf staying out. Championship was very interesting. You want some pressure tires towards the end of the race. The question is how long will he stay out? Meanwhile, we go back towards the look on track. Flopman coming out. Where does he come out? He comes out clean in first place. Where does Amateo come out? Where's Covers? Where's Covers around the outside? Covers makes that move happen. So Amateo, he has got two cars in between himself and Daniel, and he's seeing Flopman drive more and more away. One lap undercut, and Flopman has just lost. He had the 3-second lead towards Daniel, and where's that lead? It is all gone. It is been put in one lap fresher tires. And how much time will Knuf lose then? Because if it's already 3 seconds, these tires will be getting a little bit worse. I'm expecting Knuf, where's he going to drop? Is he going to drop out maybe even behind Dirk? And if that happens, he's just going to lose a whole lot of time. And how much is that one lap tire advantage going to be worth? He might even stay out a lot longer and then have a lot of tire advantage. But that will be a question that he will be answering for us in the next 2 corners.
Indeed, and that is really not what you can see from our Deo, because I'll tell you right now, being stuck in traffic at Singapore is what we want. But is Knuf still staying out, is he?
He is, and I absolutely love to see that. Going for the overcut, knowing how much fresher his tyres will be towards the later stage of the race. Covesby trying to go for a move on Max, and Amateo trying to follow immediately as well, going for 2 for 1. No, he only takes 1 for now. Amateo taking and save the Italian, not wanting to risk anything because he is fighting for a championship. He's not only looking to win tonight, he needs his championship. He wants to take that consistently and take it home. Both Haas drivers now starting to work together, because they are both inside the DRS of each other, and Flopman has no battery left. Flashing, Daniel is seeing that and thinking, I might have a chance to just stick with Flopman. We've seen what quick is, and Flopman picking up a penalty. There goes his championship or win chances. The win chances were all in Flopman. He just threw it out the window, saying, I don't need it anymore. Put it all open. And now is Amateo or Knuf, your 2 championship contenders, going to win, because Amateo up the inside of Covers, making that move happen there again. Everything that we were thinking about that was going to happen Forget about it. This is pit stops. This is PSGL. It is a spin from Fede, losing his wing there as well. If this has got to be a safety car, then just throw the race out again fully. It is not a safety car. Winglet being fully towards the side, not dangerous enough. Car fortunately ghosting through Phil. No damage done there again as well. But Fede's race is fully done as well. Knuf though, nearly getting a safety car. Just imagine those scenes. If Knuf got a safety car right now, your championship leaders would be laughing a whole lot more. Meanwhile, going in towards the pit lane this time round though, Fede letting some more cars go by. We still got a yellow flag. Oh my god, Knuf hits the pit wall. He's hit the pit wall. Oh my days. Does he have damage? I don't know. He tapped it, but his car stopped. Let's see. Is he going to change a wing? No wing change, but now we're going to have to see. Maybe even minor damage will be costing Knuf a whole lot. It is Singapore. He's hit the pit wall. That is the thing you don't want to do, but which is so easy to do. I saw Noah Kalman doing it in qualifying over at the PCF4 side of things. Knuf, though, where does he come out? He comes out so far behind towards everyone else. Behind Zane, who's on 6 lap old mediums. He's behind Ian, Dirk, Max, Covers, and then you got Mateo, Daniel, and Flopman. He's needs to gain so much ground. He has 2 laps fresher tires than Mateo and Flopman. He's got 3 laps fresher tires than Daniel, and behind them, they're all in front of him. There's all going to be drivers on way all the tires than that. Dirk meanwhile making that move on Max van der Gies, trying to keep up with Covers because Covers has also been driving a strategically amazing race. Covers and Dirk on the same strategy, 4 lap all mediums. They went for the undercut, and they will soon have a mad German knocking on their door, wanting to make those moves happen. Zorza also following the exact same strategy as Knuf, so they will likely be flying all the way up towards the field again. But Knuf hitting that pit wall, it would have been the worst thing for him to do whilst being in championship contention like that, and he doesn't seem to have any damage. A little bit cautious now because you got so much more grip on those mediums, and that is actually a scary thing to do now, to turn it. Oh, we got a virtual safety car. What has happened?
That is not what you want to see. A virtual safety car that really does, I'd say, damage Knuf's race.
Oh, Noel. Noel's got no wing.
Oh, is it Noel, is it?
Oh my, Dallas is in. Dallas is into the pit stop.
This could really help him out, actually.
The overcar of Tellers, wanting to have the best tires possible, and now getting gifted a virtual safety car. This could bring the chances for the Brazilian fully back in. He's going to come out in an amazing position. I think Tellers has just been gifted a very good opportunity at a race win, and now it is his goal to make to absolutely take it.
Knuf, he's going for a new front wing. Yeah, he's got front wing damage.
He's got wing damage. He's ruined it. Your championship leader crashing in towards the pit wall, ruining his race and throwing this championship lead out, giving it all the way up towards Matteo. Your driver, the Italian, currently being in 3rd place. He now just needs to perform, and he knows that a solid performance will give him a lot of points. Flopman being 2.3 seconds clear of Daniel as well. He has found the gap, he has found the time to do it, and he has just escaped, and he needs to drive with more than 3 seconds compared to Daniel and not pick up another penalty. He picked it up towards the halfway mark, and now he needs to be pushing to maintain that gap up towards 3 seconds, and let's hope for him that he hasn't picked up many more penalties. Noel meanwhile going towards a soft set of tires, which is a very interesting call, but Knuf down in 15th. Wing damage by hitting the pit wall. It went from decent to very bad real quick.
It did indeed. He was having such a good race, you know. He was currently chilling in P3, P2 against his championship rival. And then when he entered the pit lane, you know, he said he tapped the wall. And I actually saw him tap the wall on pit exit as well. It just, that's guttering. To find yourself towards the end of the race on the second stint of the race, you're down in P15 scoring no points. It just makes the gap bigger now if the Aston Martin keeps where it is, and potentially the Aston Martin could be on for victory here. Obviously, Flopman having that 3-second time penalty, which wouldn't be removed because he exceeded track limits, so fair enough, it's all fairs, and there it is. So, could the Aston Martin, who's pushing now, be on for a win, would you say? What's your gamble? What's
I
your
mean,
pick?
a win will be very interesting to see, but he will certainly get very close and likely take over second place from Daniel soon. But the first move that's going to happen is Phil, likely to overtake Ghost King on towards the straight here right here. 2 lap difference in tires will play such a big factor. ERS and DRS deployed, and he just flies past on the straight. Very easy move, and they're all very big gaps. And it seems like if we look at gaps, we are looking at a lower tiered race, because obviously there the pace difference is a slight bit bigger. You're able to improve or make stuff happen a lot easier. This is PSGL PSF2, the second highest level that we are seeing. It is just incredible. Meanwhile, we got Simone saying, Fede, is he going for a fast lap or does he have it?
Let's have a look.
He's got it. It's a
Yeah,
30.8.
yeah.
Let's see if I think Noel was going for the fastest lap. Oh, he's coming, Simone is saying. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Fede fastest lap from Simone. Obviously, the Italians supporting each other.
Is he cooking though? That's the thing. Is he cooking something special?
Cooking? I mean, that is the question, being on relatively fresh mediums, not the freshest of everyone in the field, and we have to still keep our eyes out on Fede, no, not Fede, so on Talus, because he will be still a big threat towards the chances of Armateo getting that race win. But the gap being between the two asses nearly exactly 3 seconds. The tires are equal between Flopman and Armateo, so it will come down to pace only. Flopman getting lucky though, because Daniel is able to keep Armateo behind him for one more lap, or at least before one stint of the lap, because Armateo is just so close behind. Knut though sets the fastest lap this time round. He has the tires and he has the pace to do it. He has nothing to lose currently, but a lot of points in the championship, but he can't do anything about it but drive as quick as he can and hope for a safety car, and then pit for a set of softs and hope that a lot will happen around him, because if a safety car happens now, I can guarantee you that every single driver will be heading in towards the pit lane. Armateo though not going for a move, coming up towards turn number 13 or 14 actually, excuse me. And now gonna see, is he going for it on towards turn number 15 and 16, not burning, so he's going to wait again for the first sector and then that time fly past. Gaps maintained, a solid 3 seconds between Flopman and Daniel. Will Armateo be quick enough to take this race win?
It's going to be an interesting one for sure, because he does look quick, but obviously DRS assistance is helping him. But the big question is, will Daniel play the game? The team play a game? That's the big question. Is he going to play it, or is he going to let the Aston Martin by? I say fight it and help his teammate out, as he's got a 3-second time penalty. So let's see what happens. At the moment, it looks like Dan is holding up the Aston Martin. We'll find out here on the exit of this corner.
He's burning.
Is the Aston Martin going to go for it? He's going to go for it. He's gaining. He's gaining in the straight. He's going for it. The house lets him by, and he does for now.
I think that Daniel knows that the gap, meanwhile Talazzo going past Ian Van Unen, Talaz is already flashing, so that doesn't help his scores and getting fully up there. But I think Daniel also realized that he still has a shot at this race win, because the gap between him and Flopman, himself and Flopman, are only 3.8 seconds currently, and it's only 1 lap quicker. If he can just stick with Armateo, he might be able to still overtake or do something to Armateo on that final lap, or at least get Flopman and get second place, because Daniel knows it doesn't matter how hard he will defend, Armateo will be finding a way through sooner rather than later, and he will be ending up in towards third place. So going together with Armateo certainly isn't the worst thing for him to do. Noel retiring in the pit lane, getting a 5-second penalty, and he was fully done with it. Tried to set the fastest lap. I don't believe he even got it. And his race is now over. Miwatalis trying to go around the outside of Dirk. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 16? I don't think so. But makes Dirk overcommit a little bit. Get a bad exit. Now going up towards the inside for the second last corner. It is an incredible move. It is incredibly done. Set up and done by Talus. Set it up, signed it off, and shipped Dick back towards 6th place. And now he needs to focus on getting that gap done towards Covers, and Dick will actually be pleased that Talus got past, because now he is in the DRS of Covers as well. Same length all tires. It is now the battle for P4 and 5. Let's see how quickly Talus will be able to get past him. Obviously not on this straight, not having any battery to really work with, but in the next couple of laps he will certainly be making that move and showing off his real strength and pace.
I was going to say, I thought Ian was going to come into this battle, but unfortunately, when Talus went for that incredible move on the Aston Martin. I think the AlphaTauri got too
Oh my.
close and unfortunately got wing damage. So
Oh,
Ian has got damage. There's no
oh yeah.
right-hand winglet on his wing from the contact for turn one, and he's gone offline. He is losing a massive amount of time. Is he going to be able to keep Zorzo behind and
No.
obviously keep points, or is he going to get swallowed?
He
With a
certainly
few
isn't.
more
I
laps
think
remaining.
even he will be retiring at the end of the lap.
That's what I'm
Obviously,
thinking.
filled with frustration, being involved in
Hmm.
multiple incidents right here, right now. But let's go towards the future, like the actual. Not the future, not the past. Let's go to the current moment, and that is that Talis is right behind the
Oh,
back end of Corvus, slightly tapping that wall. We've seen graphics before of how close you can get to that wall. Well, you can't get any closer than that if you hit the wall yourself. No DRS being used by Talis, wanting to just stay behind and get him on the big straight, coming through turns 1, 2, and 3 now. Ian Van Unen deciding to not head into the pit lane, so he's going to stay out, try to survive, getting some points. Obviously, the gaps are quite big behind, so 1 or 2 points will have to do for him. Talis, though, coming up towards the back end now of Corvus, easily opening the DRS, and Thomas Corvus having no chance and getting absolutely done up around the outside, and now this move is all done. Just
very
nicely done
true.
by Talis. 4.7 seconds is the gap. There are 4 lap difference in tyre wear between himself and Daniel. There are 3 laps difference between the race leader and Armateo. The gap between Flopman and Armateo currently being 2.6, 2.7 seconds. If Flopman gets it to 3 seconds, he wins. If Armateo keeps it below 3 seconds, he wins and definitely will be taking the championship lead, because Knuf down in P15, he can't do anything. He's just consistently gaining on Johan, who has a 3-second penalty as well, but he needs to get up in towards P10, which will be he needs to overtake that full train that he's seeing up ahead, which is now currently going towards not towards the Singapore Sling, because that's where Knuf was, going through the hairpin. So he is still very far behind, around, if I would have to guess, like 8 to 9, maybe even 10 seconds behind, and in 6 laps time you will not be able to clear up that gap. So it's not looking all that promising for Knuf. He himself losing obviously a lot of points in this championship, and in towards the winter break it will be very close. But Talis picking up a penalty. Oh no, we were expecting a third card to be played in towards his win, and now it is all done. Pushing as hard as he can, he has certainly been doing so. Gained over a second on the last lap, but picking up that penalty is really unfortunate for him, which means that his chances at winning this race is very much over, and I think he would have gotten very close. Let's just still keep our eyes out on him and see how close he gets towards the end of the race. And his goal now is to overtake Daniel as soon as possible and get 3 seconds done on him, because Armateo already having 1.8 seconds done on Daniel, the other Italian that we have. So both Italians currently in second and third. We got a few other Italians as well, which are Zane and Fede, but they are unfortunately for them in P13 and 16.
Exactly, and I'm looking on board of P6 and P5 right now, and they've got an incredible battle going on. The Aston Martin trying to get past the Mercedes and Covers, but Covers doing everything he can to squeeze the Aston Martin and not make any room for him to get by for P5. It's an incredible battle so far, but I think the Aston Martin will get by very, very shortly when he gets the dose of DRS once again. But Covers, I don't know what it is with Covers, but he just has that advantage of slight straight line speed, and he's just able to put the car in the right place, defend to perfection, and make his car wide enough for no one to get by. So can he do it on lap number 26? Let's find out. But this is incredible racing tonight. I was not expecting this kind of racing. Like, this is fantastic. I am just honestly blown away and amazed to be having the opportunity to do this tonight alongside you. But this is incredible. I am literally blown away.
I mean, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on board, obviously, having to fill the boots of Evan Dalton. Ian Van Unen were going in towards the pit lane after being overtaken by Phil. Tried to get back at him, but Phil moving a slight bit on the straight, making sure that Ian was unable to make that move done. Going on towards a soft set of tyres. 5 laps on the soft is about as much as these tyres would last. He's going to push and go for it all. And just imagine if there was a crash now and just everyone would be got back up on the soft tyres and having a few laps of all drama. It's certainly what Ian would be hoping for, and also also the reason why he did not retire. People saying going past Diogo Silva himself having some better races as well, but he decided to gamble very early on and make that pit stop. It certainly hasn't worked out for him because he made some good ground inwards at the start, but from that moment onwards, he's only been going backwards and backwards. Meanwhile, we got Thales, who's close up fully now towards the rear end of Daniel, nearly in towards that DRS of the Italian, and wanting to make those moves happen as soon as possible. And I think without a penalty, he should have won it. I think he still will, because he's gaining so quickly and so much up towards the cars up ahead. It is just 3 laps of tyre difference doing oh so much. And it is just incredible to see the pace, and he must be absolutely livid with himself for picking up that pen.
Yeah, I would say so. If I was racing and that kind of like racing experience and racecraft, I'd be absolutely mortified myself. But the way you said, he's pushing so hard, sticking to track limits, and obviously showing that he's got a penalty, which means he's pushing really, really hard. But I think if he gets by, I'd say Dan on this particular lap, like now, if he gets past him now, I think he can build that gap. But at the moment, Dan's able to keep him out of the DRS detection zones. So far, Dan's doing what he needs to do to secure P3, unless he picks up a penalty. If Dan picks up a penalty, then it gets interesting between those two. Then it's a fight for the podium.
I think it will be even more interesting, because Thales is obviously going to be making a move past Daniel oh so soon, and then I think he might be able to drive away with 3 seconds, but obviously he will still need to overtake Armateo then, who would like to lose as little time as possible between himself and Flopman. And I think Thales, if he goes past Armateo and gives him a nice slipstream, he might be the saviour that Armateo needs to really make sure that he does get P1. So let's get on board with Flopman, quickly see the ERS, but there's no battery between the two of them. Absolutely used everything that they had, even we were getting past Fede, absolutely nothing to be done there. Already 1.6 seconds gap. Don't know what happened there, but Ian Van Uden flew past him so much, and Fede was like, okay, I'll just give you a 2-second gap, not have any worries of you, and I'll just continue to do my own thing. Fede, I'm still expecting a fastest lap, Simone. So, yeah, where is it happening? Meanwhile, we got a yellow flag, and then it's Ian Van Uden going round on those soft tyres, and he was like, oh, I want to overtake you again. Let's do this round 2. Yeah, and in one lap, I think Ian Van Uden will be behind him again. That is the strength of those soft tyres. No damage from Ian. Locked the car up in time to make sure that's nothing happening there. Thales going past Daniel on that straight. A relatively boring move, and it was the move that we were all expecting. And then 3 laps to go. Thales now needs to gain 1 second a lap to drive away from Daniel, and I think he will do so, and even maybe able to help Armateo to get that victory over Flopman.
You know what? Looking at those of the tyre ages and stuff like that, I think you're right. I think Thales has a chance, because looking at corner exits between the Williams and the Haas right about now, just look at the grip he gets, and just look at the way he pulls away compared to the Haas. That's just incredible. So he's got the grip, he's got the momentum, but the problem is, Dan's on 13 laps, he's on 9. Will those mediums, will they hold on a little bit longer? Because it looks like they are at the moment with the way it's going, but I guess we'll just find out in a lap or two to see if the Williams can break the DRS, and so far he can open the gap to a tiny amount, and then it looks like the Haas just reels him back in, so we'll just find out.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, of course, drop-off number 1 of the tyres has already happened, and these mediums are approaching drop-off number 2. So, and Thales likely won't be having that second drop-off. So, yeah, he is very beneficial on that front. But Thales unable to really drive from Daniel as soon as he wanted, and Daniel being able to profit again with 1 more round of DRS. And it certainly doesn't help Thales, because he needs 3 seconds on Daniel behind. Obviously Thales being secured P4 already, unless an incident happens there, and time is running out for a safety car. Knut though being behind Johan now, and he needs to try to get past the strain that he has up ahead of him as soon as possible. Maybe benefits from some penalties, because there has been incidents, but he will only then even grab a handful of points. Knut likely to be losing out his championship lead, because Amateo being theoretically in first place currently, it is the battle that we need to be taking our eyes upon. It is 2.7 seconds the gap between Amateo and Flopman. It is just becoming a real close game. One mistake from either driver really settles up this whole race, and it all comes down to just doing time trial laps. I remember just seeing a clip once where Schumacher got told he needed to do 25 qualifying laps in a row, and he was like, okay, amazing, let me do it. This is what these drivers need to do. They need to start setting qualifying lap times without a whole lot of battery. They just need to push, give it their all, use these tires as much as possible, and do it the next lap again and again. 2 more laps to go. Is Slotman able to create a 3/10 gap in 2 laps time? We will be seeing it sooner rather than later.
Exactly, and looking at... Oh, someone's retired.
Oh, instant between Fede and Ian. As Ian... Oh no, Ian's taken another victim. I don't think this has been Ian's greatest race. Let's keep it that way.
I would agree. It's not been his best race, not his best outcome, but I guess... things happen, but look forward to the next race after the winter break, and we'll see how they come on there. You know, fresh minds, reset, and some more racing action. But right now, I'm getting flashbacks down in P5, P6, and P7 with obviously the Aston Martin and a Mercedes sandwich. And obviously, looking at both Mercedes cars, looking back to the 2023 season at Singapore with George Russell, obviously on the last lap, unfortunately, going into the walls on the last lap and DNFing. Could we see a result in that, would you say?
It certainly is possible. I haven't watched the Singapore Grand Prix because I was asleep, but Knuf making up one more move on Johan there, getting that move done, may be able to pick himself up all the way up towards P11. Probably expecting him to do so. Won't be surprised at that. But meanwhile, we have to just keep our eyes on 2 more things. It is the gap for the lead, which has gone down towards 2.6, 2.5 seconds, meaning that Amateo has slightly been improving. Let's just go on board with Amateo for this final lap, just seeing if he's able to be making that ground, if he's able to keep it consistently, or if he does make a mistake, we will be the first person to see this. Going on a camera shot for this for now. They're seemingly very clean up in sector 1. Obviously no DRS because the gap is 2.5 seconds. A yellow flag there. Ian Van Unen again going round there. The battles behind there is absolutely amazing. I hope we can see some replays from that afterwards. Let's just quickly go on board there because it's just absolutely chaotic. A dummy up the inside from Johan, who's got past Knuf once more. So I don't know what happened there for Knuf to be losing out his position, but flashing for everyone there. Flopman though, gap being 2.4 seconds. Amateo just closing, gaining and gaining, risking everything, going fully up the inside. The gap's 2.3 seconds, back up towards 2.5, 2.6 now. The gap is just going back, and it's just a roller coaster going up and down, up and down. Wu is able to take this race win in Singapore. Flopman seems like he will be finishing first on track, but will it be good enough to finish first in the overall results as well? Coming up towards turn number 16 and 17 now. This is the corner where it all needs to happen. No mistakes expected from Flopman. Needs to absolutely risk it there. He does it. He takes it cleanly. Now coming up for Amateo, taking it cleanly as well. Gap is 2.4 seconds, and I don't think that means a following Flopman to cross the line first, but Amateo to become your Singapore race winner, your new championship leader. Amateo getting that race win. Meanwhile, Flopman getting second. Daniel grabs third place. Tyler's unable to really drive away far enough, and what could have happened if he did not pick up a penalty? Dirk getting 6th place, not being able to get past covers. Zorzo in 7th, Max in 8th. Then you got Phil and Zane, but let's go on board this gap behind, a battle behind there, because Johan trying to get past Diego Silva still on the line. Nothing all that much happening there. So now we've got Ghost King coming over the line in 11th. Then you got Diego Silva, Johan Knuf, and then you got Ian Van Unen, who's going to be trying to do a qualifying lap. A little bit of dirt on his tires. Don't know how he can get dirty. He's drifting.
I saw that. He's just in a little bit. Oh, hello. Oh. That was pretty nice, actually. That was a pretty nice drift on the hairpin,
I think someone needs to tell Ian that these fireworks are not for him. They're not celebrating his donut, his drifting. Missing the apex slightly there. I think... honestly, this is the moment as a commentator where I say, oh, I think I can do better than that. But, yeah, probably as soon as we try to drift the car, we put it into the wall.
I would say so myself.
Yeah. But this has been the end of PSGL PSF2. I recommend you guys all to tune in for the F1 race because there will be a few important announcements happening right there for the whole of PSGL. So certainly tune in there because that is where it will first be announced. Let's just quickly then cross over towards these final standings coming up very, very soon. Um, Just seeing here these final results all happening. Of course, the podium ceremony. It is Armateo on top once again. It's certainly not the first time that he has been up on that first step. He's been on there many times before. And now I quickly need to use my cheating sheet. He's been up there in Qatar already, and obviously last time round in Monza as well. He goes for the double. Armateo winning in Singapore as well. And you had a 7-point difference. He grabs 16 points out, whilst Knuf grabs none. The gap has gone from 7 points in favor of Knuf to 9 points in favor of Armateo. It has fully swapped around. Meanwhile, Flopman getting second place. Danielle in third. Then you got Talus, Govers, Dirk, Zorzo, Max, Zane, and Phil will round out the top 10. Then you got Ghost Kings, Diogo Silva, Knuf, Johan, Ian Van Unen, and then your DNFs are Fede, Noel, Skyline, Jacob Konias, and Macho. I would like to thank all of you guys for watching this PSGL PSF2 broadcast. Obviously, we will be going in towards this winter break, but don't be sad because we will be back pretty soon, although it will be a pretty long break. The first PSGL racing happening again will be on the 4th of January all the way up towards the 8th, because then we will be visiting Circuit de Catalunya around Spain for round number 8 in the championship. So I've been Timon. Alongside me has been Flynn. I want to thank you guys all and wish you guys an amazing evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.